Hello and welcome to the special CNBC Africa broadcast. I'm Nozi Pombandra. We're coming to you from Gaborone, Botswana, where we're about to sit down with the Minister of Infrastructure, Science and Technology. This is an important conversation given the fact that this market will be celebrating 50 years of independence just this year. What has Botswana achieved in the last 50 years and what do the next 50 years look like? Thank you so much for making the time to join us. This is a very important year for Botswana. The country will be celebrating 50 years of independence. If you could reflect on the biggest economic achievements that the economy has clinched in the last 50 years for its people, what would these be?
Yes. Botswana at independence was one of the poorest countries in the world. But today, Botswana is a viable economy. We pulled ourselves by the bootstrap to become a middle-income country. We have thus far relied heavily on the mineral wealth to generate revenue for our infrastructure development, our economic diversification initiatives, and the overall social development programs. And I believe that what we have achieved so far in terms of our economic development is the fact that we have used mineral wealth for general development purposes to construct infrastructure, to make the country accessible. One, by road, in terms of social infrastructure, provision of potable water, provision of energy, electricity, provision of road infrastructure, and of course, air transport. When we consider other streams of revenue, Botswana has also developed the beef industry. Traditionally, cattle farming was the mainstay of Botswana's economy. But over time, because of challenges in terms of animal diseases, and in particular, foot and mouth disease for areas in the northwestern part of the country and pockets of the eastern part of the country, that in some way reduced our capacity to further harvest from the benefits of the cattle industry. And of course, tourism came along as one of the revenue streams contributing to GDP of Botswana. And I believe that with these opportunities, we have become a viable country.
When we put that into the context of the global economy, where we see that commodities are under pressure, with China slowing down, can you give us a sense of what new ideas are being brought into driving the Botswanan economy? Because certainly relying on mineral resources is not going to be as viable as it's been in the last 50 years.
That is true. For a while, Botswana government has projected alternatives to reliance on mineral wealth. Yes, we are very much aware that commodity prices have gone down and continue to plummet down. Our key emphasis is in developing the manufacturing subsector, is to look at opportunities. For instance, we have the leather industry prospects. With so much cattle production, how best can we maximize on leather byproducts? Government is currently pushing for the development of a leather park in a small town hosting the National Meat Commission. That is one opportunity. The other opportunity is to develop Botswana into a knowledge economy. We have invested heavily on ICTs. We have invested heavily on telecommunication subsector. We currently have provided an opportunity in terms of development of Botswana Innovation Hub, where we believe that we should be in a position to attract investors in the areas of science, research, innovation, technology. And this, we believe, if adequately resourced and appropriately marketed, we should be able to attract investors in these areas and ultimately develop Botswana as a hub for science and technology. We have also attempted to work on developing Botswana into an education hub where we consciously work towards upliftment of the education standards in Botswana by promoting investment in education, particularly by a private sector. We have developed a second university of science and technology. And this university is designed not just for Botswana's needs, is to look further afield to attract students from within the region and internationally. Of course, it is relatively a new university, 2.5 years old, but we believe that given the right focus, we should be able to look at these other opportunities. We have also worked on developing Botswana into a health hub. We have developed prospects, for instance, for heart surgery capacity, where in one of our hospitals, because we have designed these hospitals to specialize in specific areas of work, one that deals with heart surgery. And we believe that with these technologies improvement, we should be in a position to attract and diversify in terms of the areas of health tourism. We know that, of course, we have bigger and established facilities in neighboring countries. But we believe that if we gradually invest, reorient our services, our policies in a particular direction, we should be in a position to give impetus to our diversification initiatives.
Honourable Minister, that's quite a shopping list of different things that the government is looking at. I'm just now thinking of the recent article in The Economist, which makes mention of the diamond industry in Botswana and saying that the diamond industry has lost its sparkle. And we know that Botswana has been known for its diamonds. In the next 50 years, if you could just give us a sense of the top 3 priorities on the economic front, what is Botswana going to be known for?
One of our key areas is to develop tourism, is to develop byproducts from the beef industry. And thirdly, is to become a knowledge economy. Develop our science, innovation and technology parks such that we are able to diversify our economy from commodities, mineral wealth and associated.
And of course, innovation has been one of the words that keeps coming back in what you've been sharing with us, and understanding that Botswana has been named as the host country for the Innovation Prize for Africa in 2016. Can you give us a sense of what kind of impact do you think that this is going to have for local innovators?
We believe that this creates an opportunity for local innovators to come forward. It will create opportunities for local innovators to find partners internationally. It will create opportunities for local innovators to break out of the shell and see the world as their market and cease to see Botswana as the limited market opportunity for them. And I believe that in doing so, they'll find partners around the world who would be in a position to invest in some of the product lines which would be on exhibition and those that are being developed.
We also know that the Botswana Innovation Hub is certainly trying to position itself as one of the leading players in the science parks areas on the African continent. What kind of policies are we seeing from the government perspective to ensure that these ambitions around innovation actually fall on fertile ground?
Part of our work as the ministry is to provide facilitation. We have provided Botswana Innovation Hub with land. We have provided Botswana Innovation Hub with investment to develop special economic zones, to develop capacity in terms of infrastructure, where we would develop or build, provide laboratories for investors who would want to do research in Botswana. Investors who would want, for instance, like they have recently found a partner who is developing a data center which will not just be focused on Botswana's requirements, but on the requirements of a clientele across the spectrum. And I believe that with this investment, we should be in a position to see a Botswana Innovation Hub grow and ultimately develop into an icon within the continent.
And as a final question, Honourable Minister, Botswana is part of a region, and in particular, if we just cast our eyes to South Africa, where there's been immense volatility in the local currency, and knowing that there's very close relationship between the pula and the rand, some of these movements, and in particular the global pressures that we're also seeing, how are they impacting on your portfolio in particular, which is infrastructure, science and technology?
Our greatest worry is that we should not be brought down by the volatilities which currently obtain in South Africa. We currently are watching the space, ensuring that our projects, particularly infrastructure projects, would not suffer because of high prices, because of low productivity elsewhere. And we are currently working on consolidating our resources mobilization. And of course, we are also mobilizing the private sector to see to what extent we can leverage on the capacity of the private sector to deliver some of our infrastructure development projects. And we believe that this particular approach would yield results such that we devote the remaining resources from the public purse to socially beneficial projects and allow the private sector to work on economically viable self-liquidating projects. Yes.
There has been a history of a devaluation of the currency to remain competitive. Is this something that could potentially be an option that the government could exercise?
Up to now, we haven't considered that option. We may in the future, but for now, it has not become a necessary evil, particularly that our manufacturing sector is still very low, and the commodity prices are also moving up and down. And we believe that a steady pula-rand exchange rate should suffice for now.
And there you have it. That is the Minister of Infrastructure, Science and Technology coming to you from Gaborone, Botswana. And it certainly seems that while commodities remain under pressure and the diamond industry might have lost its sparkle, Botswana is certainly open for business. For myself, Nonofo Molefhi, until next time, it's goodbye.